Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed this third Jumu'ah, this third night of Jumu'ah, this blessed month. And as over the last two weeks, we were discussing some of the aspects of love of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu, he was asked that how much love did the Sahaba really possess for the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. How much love did the Sahaba really possess for the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Ali radiallahu anhu said, I take an oath on Allah, I take an oath by Allah, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was more beloved to us than our riches, our children, and our mothers. He was more beloved to us than our riches, our children, and our mothers. And his company was more cherished than a drink of cool water at the time of severe thirst. We live in a hot island, right? We know when it gets hot. So when they say you just want a cool water, cool soap water. When you're fasting, the fast is done. So then you think after Taraweeh, you're going to go and have a full soft drink. Right? You know, and we know how lovely that is. Ali said, radiallahu anhu says, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was much more beloved than all of us. Now they were ready to give their lives. We mentioned Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu last week. Now when his son came and said, oh my father, I saw you. I had the opportunity in the battle of Badr to come and, to finish you off. But out of love, you're my father, I stayed away. And Abu Bakr said, if you had come in front of me, it would be a different story. I would have finished you off. Because you came as the enemy, you came to fight the Messenger and the believers. We had, I think, one or two incidents of the Shaykhain, Abu Bakr and Umar last week. Let's look at Uthman radiallahu anhu. Uthman radiallahu anhu is a lovely incident in the seerah of when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent him to go and speak to the Makkans. And this was at the time of Hudaybiyah. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba, they set out from Medina to go and perform Umrah. And they were stopped. Their intention was Umrah only. They were stopped at a place called Hudaybiyah. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Uthman radiallahu anhu as an ambassador to speak to the Quraysh and just inform them that we've come not to fight, we've not come to do anything, just come to do Umrah. We'll do Umrah and we'll go. Uthman radiallahu anhu was chosen because he had a number of family members in Makkah al-Mukarramah. And Uthman radiallahu was a very well-known person, very, very well-known. So he says that Uthman radiallahu anhu, he then said, oh, he went to Makkah al-Mukarramah. Some of the Sahaba, they started to say that how fortunate is Uthman that he's gotten the opportunity to go into Makkah. And he'll get to see the Kaaba and he'll get to Tawaf. Now may Allah Ta'ala take us over and over and over to the blessed lands. May Allah Ta'ala grant us that and unity. The more you go, the more you want to go. Right? It is the hope and aspiration of every believer. Now imagine those who live there. The Sahaba, they live there. Shaykh al-Hasan al-Nahwi rahmatullahi alayhi beautifully mentions that. The Sahaba, especially the Muslims, the Muhajirun, they grew up with the love of the Kaaba instilled in their hearts. By the time they're small, the Kaaba is there. They're certainly doing Tawaf. They're standing there. Then Islam comes, and they have even more admiration and even more reverence for the Kaaba. They're standing, you're seeing the Prophet ﷺ facing towards the Kaaba and facing towards Aqsa. The Prophet also was in Makkah. The way he would perform his salah was with face, with the chant to pray, facing, because remember the Kaaba is that square rectangle. So you can face both. So you can face that side, that would also allow you to face Masjid al-Aqsa. Then when you went to Medina, you had to face Masjid al-Aqsa because you're two separate places. And then after 17 months, the command came for Masjid of Allah, turn your direction towards, make your Qibla the Kaaba. So the Sahaba, they grew up with this love of the Kaaba. And suddenly they were told, you gotta migrate. And then they migrated. Right? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam himself, and Wallahi, ya Allah, this is the most beloved place on earth to me. If I was not expelled and forced to go out, I would never have left this place. I would never leave Makkah. So Uthman had the opportunity. Some Sahaba started talking that, Uthman probably is going to go and do tawaf. Uthman is probably going to go and do tawaf. And one of the narrations mentioned that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam heard this. And he said, no, Uthman will not perform tawaf. Why he's not going to do it? Because if I'm not allowed to do it, he's not going to do it. That's Uthman. Because I'm not allowed to do it, he's not going to do it. He's not going to do tawaf before me. They said even if he stays in Makkah al-Mukarramah for an entire year, he will not perform tawaf before me. He says that his cousin, Aban ibn Sa'id, when he got there, he said, okay, you're under my care. And they would say, okay, they would put somebody under your care so that nobody else can harm him. He said, Uthman, you're under my care. And then he was going to go and take him to visit the chieftains and the leaders of the Quraysh. There's one other incident that took place. The scholars mentioned that at that time, the cousin, either Aban or someone, that Uthman, your garment, your lower garment, is with kalf. Now, the Quraysh, Pious, and they used to pride themselves that the longer the cloth, the more affluent and the more important you are. So if you're sweeping the ground with your cloth, then that's the sign of of some great status. Islam came and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no. The man is that you lift your bottom garment, your lower garment, even if you have a jumper, you should not go below your ankles, right? And one of the reasons is it's a sign of pride. You're not supposed to do that. So he said to him that Uthman, you're going to talk to the chieftains. At least let it go a little lower. They'll look at you in a better way. He said, no. No. My Nabi told us that this is the way. This is the practice of my Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm not going to do it. And then he also, at that time, he said to him that, Uthman, you're here already in Makkah. You're here already in Makkah. So go ahead. Go ahead. Go to Tawaf. That was one of the reasons you came anyways. Go to Tawaf. Nobody's going to stop you. He said, no, how can I perform Tawaf before the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam? SubhanAllah, this is another example of the love that the Sahaba had. For them, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was everything. It was everything. It is mentioned, there's another lovely incident from Uthman's life, that after the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a few days after Abu Bakr came, complained. Abu Bakr, I can't understand what's happened to people. Prophet, peace be upon him, has fully passed away a few days, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And people are not answering salam. They're not talking to you. He said, what's the matter? I passed by Uthman, and Uthman, I said salam, Uthman didn't answer. Right. Go call Uthman. Uthman, Umar said he passed by you, he said salam, you didn't answer. He said, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Abu Bakr, Khalifa, I don't know, I didn't even hear him. So the reason for this is that since the Prophet ﷺ passed away, I've just been lost. The beloved is departed. I'm not there. I can't even think. I can't even comprehend. It has been mentioned that when Prophet ﷺ passed away, Usman got unconscious. The beloved has departed from this world. He said, I'm just, basically say you just comprehend. You just walk in on just like that. I don't know. I didn't even hear Umar say anything. And then Umar understood, okay, fine, that's nice. Okay, that's okay. But that's the love. That's the love of Uthman and all the Sahaba. As we said last week, that one of our scholars is doing the dua. That whole love is a percentage. Right? It's a percentage of that love that the Sahaba had for Rasulullah. So one way to increase this love is make it a habit of reading Seerah Kitab. I've made recommendations before as well. On the place that we have on the before as well. One lovely kitab that's quite small, not too big, is The Prophet of Mercy by Sheikh Abul Hassan al-Din Nabi. I'm talking about kitabs. That's a lovely book, right? Not too basic and not too much in it either. It's very nice. It's very well laid out and presented. It's also available online on PDF as well. And if you want something a little more, Then Dr. Salabi, he has a book translated as well. The Seerah of the Prophet Muhammad. I think that's the name, right? Wow. And there's also another one that's really, really good. But if you're really ambitious and you want to read it and learn a lot of lessons, it's called Siratul Mustafa. Siratul Mustafa of Maulana Aakil, and it's been translated into English. Originally, it was in Urdu, translated into English. It's 3 volumes, and so far, ulama have actually made it concise as well. They have a summary of it, right? They made it concise. It's a really good read. It'll take long, but that's for if someone has read a book of Sirah already. This is one of the specialties of this is that the author there he outlines lessons from each incident. So when the Prophet went to Mi'raj, he outlined a number of lessons. The Prophet went to Badr, a number of lessons. Right? So it's a very, very beautiful read. And then there are many others. And that's the beauty of the Prophet life. That Sirah books will continue and continue and continue. So may Allah Ta'ala grant us the love for His Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. May Allah Ta'ala instill in our hearts His love. And so one way, as I said, is to read the Sirah, get a book, read. Maulana Sulaiman Mullah Sahib also has some nice lectures on the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You can see them. Mufti Abdul Rahman Mungira. Again, there's another one aspect is called the Shama'il, which talk about the qualities, the outward and inner qualities of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So Mufti Abdul Rahman Mungira on Zamzam Academy, I think there are roughly 50 something lectures. Okay? They're beautiful because he looks at the Sirah, the Shama'il, and he explains it. And he explains it beautifully, each part. So it's a lengthy, it'll take, mashallah, on your commute, it's something good to listen to. It'll give you an appreciation of how great our Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is, and his qualities. And Allah instill us that.